This is a documentary on Machito's jazz legacy, and he talks about how he was working with Black Americans. This is the first Latin jazz artist, Machito. And he's playing in Chick Webb's band. Yeah, look, this right here is your first Latin jazz band. Your first Latin jazz band is a whole bunch of black men, Black American horn section. This is Machito's Afro-Cubans.
By this time, the fusion between what you call Afro-Cuban music...
Listen to this. Listen to them talk about Afro-Cuban black music. Black American music. Listen.
My relationship with the Machito Orchestra kept growing. And eventually Norman Granz asked me to write a suite of Afro-Cuban jazz for the Machito Orchestra, which I did and which was very successful. By this time, the fusion between what you call Afro-Cuban music and jazz was really taking place.
Que grabamos con Charlie Parker, Flip Phillips, Bobby Rich. Fíjate la gente que quisieron grabar con nosotros. Yo podían a veces dar luz, decir, nosotros no grabamos con la guerrilla, los guerrilleros estos. No. Tan pronto le dijeron, vengan a grabar.
This is talking about Machito's first band. And this Afro-Cubans that came out of Chick Webb's band. Let me see if I can go back and play some of that earlier part for you.
Were just some of the great big bands that played jazz you could dance to.
Envuelto también en una categoría musical de altura. Hoy ya vinculado con Chick Webb. Así que todo.
He said his brother-in-law started with Chick Webb. I'll get into Chick Webb in 1 second.
Se me facilitó para estar envuelto también en una categoría musical de altura. Hoy iba todas las noches a Savoy, porque cuando aquello
He's talking about, this is Machito talking about how he would go to the Savoy ballroom with Chick Webb. Chick Webb wasn't going down to their club. They were going to Chick Webb's Savoy Ballroom Club. This for you Fat Joe people, showing you where you got your Latin music from.
La orquesta de Chick Webb ya estaba establecida.
The Savoy Ballroom was known as the home of happy feet, and jazz was known as swing. The 1930s was the golden era of the big bands, many of which were led by great arrangers. Fletcher Henderson, Jimmy Lunsford, Duke Ellington, and Count Basie were just some of the great big bands that played jazz you could dance to.
So you see right there what Chick Webb talks about, well, Machito talks about going to Chick Webb. See, you got to know who Chick Webb is. If you know who Chick Webb is, Chick Webb was a little 4-foot-tall black man that was a drummer that had a whole bunch of injuries. Like he had to walk on a cane. And Chick Webb was where the center of music was happening right there with Chick Webb. Stomping at the Savoy, one of his big songs. And Chick Webb discovered Ella Fitzgerald. That's also where Machito got his jazz band from. But you know who else was in Chick Webb's band? Louis Jordan. The same Louis Jordan I talked about earlier today. The same Louis Jordan. This Louis Jordan. He was also in Chick Webb's band at the same time as Machito.
Before we could even bat an eye, we were right in the middle of a big fish fry. What rockin'?
Is he not rapping? Is Louis Jordan not rapping? With a song called Fish Fry. Is he not rapping?
We knocked on the door and it opened with ease. And the lowest little miss said, come in, please, before we could even battle.
Louis Jordan used to combine elements of comedy, rap, and he's the king, the father of rhythm and blues. First person to really combine the big band elements with the blues and develop things into what we now know as rhythm and blues. This man comes out of the same band as Machito, the person that founded the first Latin jazz band. The further backer you go, the blacker you go. Can I coin that term? The backer you go, the blacker you go. Can I get credit for that? Can y'all just give me credit when y'all use it? The backer you go, the blacker you go. So from any point of reference you want to cut it, we your daddy. Okay? Just take it. So that's why you're tethered and torn. Non-tethers are not torn. Immigrants aren't torn. People that happen to be born in another nation or parents were born in another nation and they're secure within themselves, they're not tethered or they're not torn because they're not tethered. They too busy living their own goddamn life. They like the music, but they're secure within their culture. You're tethered and torn because you've tethered all of the cool points in your life to us. All of them. And you torn.